Sorry for the sun. Okay, so we'll have PBOT, County Transportation, ODOT, TriMet Forestry, and then County Shelter. Great. Okay. Thank you for being here. I'm Dylan Rivera, Public Information Officer for the City of Portland Bureau of Transportation. We're gathered here at Albina Yard, which is part of PBOT's Maintenance Operations Headquarters. PBOT is the city's lead for snow and ice and all weather emergency events. And this is the location where we have the city's road salt storage behind us here. PBOT gets ready for winter weather. We start planning for the season in the summertime. We train our crews and refresh their skills every October through November. And then we also advise the public on seasonal preparedness as well. So we appreciate you being here and helping us get the word out about the forecast. The National Weather Service has told us to expect snow and potential freezing rain on Thursday and continued cold temperatures into Friday. And it may take some time to thaw out Friday. It never seems to thaw as quickly as anyone would like. So we need the public to be aware of how to prepare for these conditions. And we're here to share what transportation agencies from across the region are doing to prepare, and the service will be providing in this weather emergency. PBOT has been having extra crews work at night, magnesium chloride de-icer on our routes in advance of this forecast winter storm. That's the liquid you see sometimes with streaks on hills and bridges and overpasses. That's one of the most effective things we can do to prevent snow or ice from sticking to the pavement. In addition, we have road salt and crews at the ready to apply road salt as needed tonight in advance of the event tomorrow. Currently, we have about 50,000 gallons of liquid de-icer and about 2,500 cubic yards of road salt. We're able to order more very quickly, and the road salt storage we have is more than enough for the forecast event. That's probably enough to last a week-long event. So we're well stocked for winter emergencies. We plan ahead, and starting a week out from a forecast of snow or ice, we start running through scenarios of how we can scale up our staffing. And so we will have extra crews working tonight and overnight, Thursday night, as needed to address the weather that we're seeing. Every forecast comes with uncertainty. We have recent history of forecasts that called for a relatively minor event that ended up being a major event. We have recent history of forecasts that called for potentially a major event that was not as severe as expected. So everyone needs to stay on their toes. For many of us, that means driving and traveling appropriately for the conditions you see in the moment, and preparing yourself in advance for winter weather. The City of Portland's snow and ice plan has been relatively consistent for about 20 years in that we ask the public for your first step to be avoiding travel, if at all possible. That could be avoiding travel for the day. That could be in the moment. If we have a weekday tomorrow and you find yourself out and about when snow or ice is happening, you need to take action. You need to find a place to, for many people, that could be find a safe, legal place to store your vehicle, potentially overnight. Get yourself safely to public transit. Get yourself safely to shelter. Consider buying some time by supporting a local restaurant, supporting a local hotel with an overnight stay, and off the roads until conditions improve. So that said, we'll also talk about some of the risks inherent with freezing rain, and folks need to really be careful because some of the most treacherous surfaces you travel on could be your own driveway, the path from your front door to your car, or your own sidewalk. So pay attention to your sidewalk. Be prepared to make your sidewalk passable for yourself and for your neighbors to get to public transit. And be prepared if we do have freezing rain, again, your first option is always avoiding travel, no matter where you are. Stay safe, stay in shelter, and we'll have other partners next to advise the public and to discuss their emergency response plans. And then hopefully we'll have some time for questions. We may have to do questions one-on-one, just so you know. So next up, Multnomah County Transportation.
Good afternoon. I'm Ken Boson, Road Maintenance Supervisor with Multnomah County. In preparation for this winter storm and every October and November, we prep our equipment and make sure everything's in good working order, restock all of our sanding rock and our magnesium chloride liquid de-icer. For this specific weather event, we have also been putting out liquid de-icer ahead of time on the roads, especially in our heavy traffic areas, hills, and intersections. And we are also switching our crews to 24-hour operations here starting tomorrow through the event. That way we can have complete coverage during all times of all travel. So when we're out there, we're plowing snow and putting out de-icer, and we're sanding icy areas. These plows are very large vehicles, and we ask that people are driving carefully around them. Please do not pass them and give them a lot of space so that they can do their work safely and so everybody else can be safe as well. If you do need to drive in the snow or ice, please slow down. Like Peabot said, drive to the conditions. And if you can, and if things are allowed, then stay home if you can. We ask that you also don't abandon your vehicles. Try to get a tow truck or something, because those abandoned vehicles get in the way of us being able to clear the roads and potentially cause road closures as well. And that makes it unsafe for us to be able to maneuver around them, and it just creates a hazard for you when you come back to get them as well. Any additional information that you may have or may want to have, we have our county transportation website and our snow and ice plan. It shows where our roads are, which is mainly in the outer east and outer west county, outside of Portland and Gresham. And that also has our priority routes and which roads are going to be hit the most. So if any additional information you may have, you can get from our snow and ice plan.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Winsheimer. I'm the ODOT Region 1 Manager. We have already pre-treated most of the highways, and we'll continue to lay de-icer overnight tonight. We have crews monitoring the roadways and are prepared to respond to change around the clock to make sure our roads are as safe as possible. We have our plow trucks and our salt ready to go, and now I'm asking for your help. Please do not be surprised when traveling. Check current conditions before you go and pay attention to what conditions you might encounter on your return trip home. Weather can be unpredictable, and don't leave home in the and expect the conditions to be the same as on your drive home. Use tripcheck.com to assess conditions before you head out. And if you're not prepared for potential snow and ice in the forecast, please stay home or take transit. It's not fun being caught unprepared. And abandoned vehicles on the highways will be towed. ODOT is prepared for the coming storm. Please stay home if you don't need to travel. And if you do travel, please be prepared for the conditions you may encounter. Please stay safe.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Graff with TriMet. First off, I'd like to thank Peabot for putting on this event on this sunny but appropriately cold day, and a big nod of gratitude to all of our jurisdictional partners, Multnomah, Washington, Clackamas counties, the 25 cities in our service district, the utilities as well, ODOT. TriMet is preparing for inclement weather. When it comes to snow, ice, and high winds, coordination with our local partners is really important. We rely on Clear to help us clean debris, such as downed trees and branches, power lines, and to provide a warm refuge for people who need it. For TriMet, our #1 priority, without qualification, is the safety of our riders, operators, and the community at large. With the forecast calling for periods of ice, we want to remind riders of just how dangerous that can be. Ice can pose challenges that snow alone does not. Not only is ice treacherous, especially alongside high winds, it's fickle and can lead to unpredictable outcomes, especially for max service, despite our best efforts. We strongly encourage people to start planning ahead now. If you're a rider and you're not signed up for alerts, sign up today. Go to trimet.org/email to have those alerts sent directly to you, and that way you can stay one step ahead of the weather. And speaking of staying one step ahead of the weather, we'll be watching the temperatures and looking for precipitation with teams on standby to chain our buses and de-ice areas if needed. We have drop-down chains on almost all of our 660 buses. Those can be deployed in case snow or ice starts falling. It gives them enough time to get back to our facilities so that we can chain the buses. We have about 3,200 sets of chains for all of our buses as well if we need to use them. But again, we want to emphasize the importance of being ready. Make sure that you bundle up and dress warmly because there could be delays or disruptions. Be mindful of sidewalks, stairs, and platforms, that they'll be slippery. We always urge our riders to use caution when they're going to and from stop stations and transit centers. And also, please check trimet.org/alerts before heading out for the day. And also remember that when Multnomah County's state of emergency is in place, TriMet won't turn away anyone riding to or from an emergency warming shelter who cannot pay fare when the warming shelters are open. Riders will just want to tell their bus driver that they're going to a warm place. We're hoping for the ice and snow levels to stay low, but either way, we're ready for the weather.
Afternoon, Paul Anderson, Portland Parks and Recreation. Work with urban forestry. We have crews on standby 24 hours a day. Our crews respond to emergencies throughout the year. They're well trained. Our most experienced arborist is on call throughout this event. Our top priorities are keeping emergency transport routes open. That's big roads that lead to hospitals for public transportation, etc. What you should do if you see a tree emergency, call 823-TREE. Option 1, that'll dispatch an arborist to the site. Sites are prioritized based on whether or not the road is closed and the size of the road. What you should not do is try to move a tree in the roadway. Be aware of electrical hazards. When you call 823-TREE, be sure to report electrical hazards. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Dennis Therault, Deputy Communications Director for Multnomah County. Thanks for having me here today, Peabot and everyone else. And I want to say Dylan was at a press conference with us a couple days ago where he talked about snow shovels and salt, and I actually went and ordered salt based on, while we were standing there. So I think we should all be doing that. And I want to thank Peabot also. I'm going to talk about our emergency shelters. Peabot also helps make sure that the routes to shelters are clear, and that's really important seeing how they do that here, so I want to extend some gratitude for that also. I am here to share some information about our expanding. 6 people sought refuge at our 5 emergency shelters that opened last night and they closed at noon today. We had another 208 people stay at 2 Salvation Army winter shelters and 20 others who used emergency overflow beds throughout our year-round shelter system. So we had close to 600 people who came inside last night. Tonight, because that demand was so high, we are opening a 6th site at Charles Jordan Community Center. I want to thank the Parks Bureau for being partners in that again this year. They were great partners last year in that space. And we can continue expanding capacity as needed, both in the spaces that we have as well as in other spaces as this emergency continues. I'll list the 6 sites. Folks can go to multco.us/cold, but I'll list the 6 sites. Cook Plaza, which is operated by Cultivate Initiatives out in Gresham. The Hollywood Shelter off Sandy, operated by Transition Projects. The Northwest 14th Avenue Shelter at 14th and Hoyt, operated by Do Good Multnomah. We have the Ascension Church Tony Ranella Hall, operated by the county on 76th. The Grand Oak Shelter in the Central East Side, operated by Multnomah County. And the Charles Jordan Community Center site, that will be operated by Multnomah County. Our goal at these sites is to turn no one away. We welcome pets. All sites are accessible to people with disabling conditions. We don't want to have barriers like that. We also know that during the day we have places for folks to go. So the Behavioral Health Resource Center downtown is an example of a day center that's open, and our libraries are also providing respite during the day. We also say call 211 when we are open at night for transportation. TriMet is also here. Thank you, TriMet, for your partnership during these emergencies. It really does take all of us to keep people safe. If you see someone, that includes members of the community, so if you see somebody really important, and here's why that's important. This forecast is getting even worse. The cold that we've had, we're getting these winds today. We can feel it where our hair is blowing around. But the winds are going to make this feel like the low teens, and that is clearly not safe for folks. So please, everyone, limit your time outside during those conditions. If you have the chance to come inside, even for a few hours, please do so. And we're also seeing the snow and freezing rain potential in the forecast, as folks have talked about here. Work on getting a specific number. I remember we had it last year, and I did not have time to prepare it this morning. But it was very serious. We saw a lot of people going to the hospital because they slipped on ice and slippery surfaces. So please take care of that. And Dylan's even got a prop for that, I think. I don't know if you wanted me to call him up for it, but yeah.
Sometimes the most hazardous path you travel is the one from your front door to the front door of your vehicle. So just like we talk about chains for your tires for your vehicle, there are boot chains now that you can buy that help you travel more safely when traveling on foot. And so this is an example. There's lots of products, some with cute names. Add this to your winter emergency kit and get them ready. Get them ready today in case we do get freezing rain tomorrow. Have them at a convenient place so you can have them ready to go and be prepared to travel with them as well as needed. You may need them. Your safety is number one, and so we need everyone to take their own safety extremely seriously. And in the event of freezing rain, that means keeping your sidewalk passable if you can, having ice melter and boot chains for your personal safety as well as so you can help your neighbors. Thank you.
And I'll just add one more health message here. With freezing rain comes the risk of power outages. People could be losing power in their homes. That's your heat source often, right? You're running your electricity to turn the furnace on sometimes. So we are urging people, if that happens to you, please be careful. Burning things like barbecue grills, running the oven, those can be very dangerous, very risky. We would ask that maybe if you have a wood burning stove or a fireplace, something that's safe to burn, that's good, but be very careful. We do not want to see people burning barbecue grills in their homes and getting carbon monoxide poisoning. And again, if you need shelter, you see someone who does, call 211. If you see someone who needs a welfare check, call the police non-emergency line at 503-823-3333. And again, if you see somebody who is in a serious medical crisis while you are out and about, please call 911. I want to thank everyone for the time, and I'll be here for questions too with everyone else.
Quick question.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the biggest number of people that you've seen utilize your emergency shelter
No.
in the winter?
No.
What year would compare?
Last year, 1,300 was the peak. The year before was like 1,200.
Are we prepared to reach 1,300?
Yes.
And that's for emergency shelters alone,
That's
not including the year.
not including the year-round shelters, not including the Salvation Army shelters. We've hit 1,000 a year before the 1,200, so we know that this number has gone up, and we're at that stage. So that's why we can add spaces. We have beds that we can add, and we have more buildings that we can go into as needed.
So you just kind of have those on standby.
Yes. Yeah. Last year, I think we had like 9 or 10 shelter spaces open at the peak. Yeah.
We've been seeing some people that are kind of like put outside in like wheelchairs or other situations, people who are elderly. Are you offering to call 211 to take them to the closest day center?
Yeah, and actually the BHRC folks, they were out at the 14th Street shelter. They had flyers out there. They're encouraging people to go from that space in particular. It's one of our busiest sites because it's downtown. The BHRC is only a few blocks away. It's at Park and think near Broadway and Park, so it's really close to 14th and Hoyt. So that's an example where we're trying to make a direct connection to get folks there.
And are people utilizing those day centers? What are you seeing there?
BHRC's been pretty busy, and I think the libraries are starting to see. I can ask them what their numbers are earlier in the activation. They were not seeing big numbers yet. I think as we've been this cold, we're starting to see probably more people come to the libraries too. And we have more day centers than we used to have too, so, but I can get some numbers if that's helpful.
Are you shuttling people back and forth from one place
Yep,
to the other?
people do get rides. If they need to leave, that's part of the arrangement when you're trying to get someone out of a shelter. If we can get a ride, we can, especially folks who are more vulnerable, have mobility challenges.
Is there any extra effort to try and provide some casework in these situations? A lot of times some of the people we're talking about is like their first night at a shelter. Are we trying to make contact at those times when?
If we can, that's ideal. And I think part of having providers like Transition Projects, Do Good, Nova, and Cultivate who do that work day in, day out, they are getting people into housing, they run year-round shelters, they work on employment programs. Their staff can make some connections. And we have examples of people who've come to winter shelters, severe weather shelters, who are now in supportive housing because of the connections they made coming into Arbor Lodge a couple years ago when that was a severe weather shelter.
It sounds like you're not asking for volunteers yet. Is that true?
Not yet, but folks should go to moldco.us/cold. There is training, and we may do that soon. So there's some language there that's updated today on what to look for. I think we've done 50-some trainings already, though, this fall to get people prepared and ready for when the call comes out.
Do you have enough volunteers on standby?
At this point, between city staff, county staff, and our providers, we've been okay, but we may put that call out, especially if we have to keep expanding.
Can you give an idea of how much these types of operations are costing daily?
I'd have to check for that. I don't want to give numbers that might not be correct.
In terms of outreach crews, I saw that this year, for the number of days the outreach crews are out, are they also out at night?
I think we're trying to make sure that some more of them are. I know some folks have been out volunteering at night. I think we're trying to make sure that we get more folks reaching out. I know that during the day they're getting gear to folks, so they have it at night, though. That's important, too.
But there's an effort to make sure people are going out there at
That
night.
we're covering all of our bases throughout the day, yes.
Is that a new development, and why was that done?
I think it's been something we've been trying to do every year.
And so where are you at with that effort?
I don't know. We could talk more after. Let me know. We can do one-on-one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just a couple of questions, and we'll have time for one-on-ones. We got a lot of folks here. Yeah.
We have another reporter that wants to know about families and their kids. That a lot of schools are staying open or don't know if they're staying open yet, haven't made any decision. What would your advice be to the schools at this point? Have you provided any advice? And then any advice to the families who don't really know what tomorrow's going to look like the day after?
The school districts make their own decisions. They have different geographies. I mean, frankly, in the city of Portland, it's not many people know we have 5 school districts, including Park Rose, Reynolds, David Douglas, and so they may make a different call tomorrow on whether it's early release or late start, that sort of thing. And so we're in touch with them and share information around the clock. So the families of school children should be in touch with the district and your school community and find out how they provide emergency notification. So, any county salt question? Yep.
We're not actually using salt this year for the county.
Okay. The county. Okay.
County's not. What about state?
Okay.
Ryan?
Yeah, Ryan's got that.
Well, right now we're using de-icer. Right now the appropriate tool is de-icer. If the need arises, we will use salt. It depends on what the types of conditions present themselves.
Okay, so assuming we're getting snow and freezing rain, will you be using salt for about?
Again, it does depend. Usually we'd use it on the interstates only if that was necessary for ice. Yeah.
So then gas is
No, it would be about the same. We've been over the past couple of years. Obviously, years ago we weren't using it at all. Now we are using it as a new tool. We are finding it to be an effective tool. It is helping us get the roadways open sooner and keeping them open. So we look forward to using that if necessary. Right now it's the icer, but if we do run into the freezing rain in particular, it's a good tool for that.
What about city? Can anybody respond? Could you use some salt this time around?
Yep.
You see the freeways get cleaned up pretty quick because of using salt, but not the city streets.
City streets were treated with salt last January in the ice events we had then, and it was very effective. The city of Portland's winter weather response had Significant change back in 2017. We had previously not used road salt, just used a liquid magnesium chloride de-icer. But since 2017, road salt has been a regular tool for us. You can see one of our salt trucks right there and one of our anti-icing liquid de-icer trucks right there. We encourage everyone to give those vehicles plenty of space. Never pass a snowplow or salting truck, or keep a safe distance from our magnesium chloride trucks as well. They need plenty of room to work, and oftentimes they're working in conditions when the stopping distance they need is really extra. So dark, snowy, icy conditions, it's hard to stop, and visibility is limited because of the plow blade itself. So please give our crews plenty of space. If you see them, if you're walking by, give a wave from the sidewalk. That's welcome. Also, there's resources PBOT has for everyone online. Get to know portland.gov/winter. We've got frequently asked questions. We've got snow and ice travel tips. The Winter Weather Center is there. You can see our maps with where we use road salt, where we use de-icer, where we plow the streets. Citywide, it's not just a West Hills thing. We plow in East Portland, and we have areas at 500 feet, like in Mount Scott, east of 82nd Avenue, versus 1,000 feet, as is Council Crest as well. Parts of West Burnside by the cemetery also. So get to know our routes. The Winter Weather Center map should be activated tonight. After about 6:30, you should be able to see our equipment moving in real time. And if you look carefully, thanks to the PBOT social media team, you might see some names on some of those snowplows as well. So I think tonight, okay, they'll be set up. Okay, they're ready to go, and then as needed, we'll set them up for requirement. Okay, all right. On the way to two designated routes, so West Burnside, west of 23rd Avenue, and then the route up to Sam Jackson Park Road to OHSU. We have two designated chain-up zones where it's marked, and you can safely pull aside to apply a tire chain to your vehicle if needed in winter conditions in the coming days. So those are set up and ready to go, so you can safely pull aside at those locations. Get to know, we also, if we do have road closures, if we do have severe weather, road closures from down trees or power lines or icy conditions, we'll list those, and you can see those on the Winter Weather Center, as well as our road closure webpage. You can access at portland.gov/winter and get your snow and ice travel tips there as well. I think we may have one other speaker. Water? Sure. Portland Water Bureau is here with some helpful information for folks to know in severe cold.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Felicia Heaton. I'm with the Portland Water Bureau. That's Felicia, F-E-L-I-C-I-A, Heaton, H-E-A-T-O-N, Communications Director. Main messages for folks who are preparing for cold temperatures is to prepare your home plumbing. It's one of the most important things you can do to protect your home, your property, and your family from damage that can come from busted pipes in your home. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with one of these. This is you can buy them at Fred Meyer or a Walmart, any kind of store that has home goods. Costs just a couple bucks, and you put them on your hose bib, tie them in, and they go a long way in protecting your home plumbing. The other thing you can do is use an old piece of fabric, and you can wrap it around your hose bib. That's the faucet outside your home, and then tape it up with duct tape if you don't have one of these. Easy, easy, easy. Another thing that you can do to protect your home plumbing is to make sure that as temperatures are freezing, and if they stay freezing for a few days, you can open up your cupboard doors where you have your faucets and your sinks. Just open up those cupboard doors to keep the warm air moving into keep those pipes inside your home warm. And also, if the freezing temperatures persist, just keep a really slow drip on your faucets to make sure to keep that water moving. That will keep the water moving throughout your plumbing and then reduce the chance that you'll have frozen pipes and bursting pipes inside your home. Anyone can do this. It's really easy. And do it till those temperatures warm back up again. Let's see, one other thing. It is really important that everyone knows how to do emergency water shutoff in their home. And on the city website, portland.gov, you'll see that banner where you can get all that emergency information. And we have a variety of videos there in a number of different languages that will give you information on how to find your emergency water shutoff and then how to go through that process and turn it back on. If there are any questions, I'm happy to take them. And those are the key messages from the Portland Water Bureau. And thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot for being here. We'll have some time for one-on-ones with a variety of the speakers, and you're welcome. I can show you some of these vehicles as well. We've got a salt truck here and a mag chloride anti-icing vehicle as well. Thanks a lot for getting the word out.